Talk to us about how what you're unveiling today and the latest with Ford Pro will really make a difference in the everyday operations of commercial customers like a wine grower in Sonoma.
I think so. Ford's been number one in commercial vehicles for like decades. And now we're going to do something different. We're going to go into distributing and actually software and physical services that we haven't really been in before. So this is a big turn for us. For our customers, they have been begging for this for a long time.
So what kind of services are we talking about?
So financing, we don't really offer comprehensive financing of charging itself, so the new electric Lightning and the e-Transit, we're going to offer comprehensive charging just like Elon did with Tesla. So we're going to offer our equivalent of the supercharger network with depot charging that commercial customers use, telematics, so they can track the vehicles, do dynamic routing, check the servicing, whether the drivers are operating them efficiently, all sorts of service, and then physical services. We can now predict before the vehicle fails, so the customer can get service done before the vehicle goes off the road.
And the vision is not just to sell this to commercial customers, but individual car buyers down the line. How much, in terms of a percentage of sales, let's say, do you think services will contribute to Ford's business in 2030?
Well, I would say maybe half if you include physical, repair and upgrade of the facility. Of the vehicle. Absolutely a huge growth opportunity for us because we've only made margin on the vehicle itself. And maybe the best we do in commercial is retain 10% of the customers after warranty for service. So if we get 20, 30, 40% loyalty in service because of these services we offer on physical repair, it's really incredible upside for us. We'll start with Pro. We're already connecting all the vehicles on the retail side, but the Pro customers are more willing to pay for those services.
Now, you're going to need chips to power all of this. President Biden, the administration, just said the chip crisis is going to last at least till the end of the year. Give us an update on what you're seeing in the supply chain. Do you still see shortages? If so, where? Or do you see some relief?
Not really. Actually, I wish I could tell you there was relief in sight, but fourth quarter was very difficult. In fact, we started to see new kind of supply chain problems with Omicron and absenteeism in our supply base, where we started to get some basic automotive part shortages in the fourth quarter. That's eased a lot in the first quarter, but we still see the semiconductor impacting us now. We think it'll last all the way through this year, potentially even in the next year. Look, the number of chips in our vehicles gone from 2,000-3,000 up with this kind of electric vehicle like Lightning. So we're using more and more of these. Even if the capacity increases, it's not fast enough for the advancement in the vehicle. So it's something we have to deal with, and we're making our most profitable vehicles and protecting the production of them as our first priority.
You said 40% of Ford vehicles will be EV, or sales will be EV
Yes.
by 2030. Since then, you've had to double production of Lightning
Yes.
twice,
Yes.
triple production of the Mach-E in Mexico. So I wonder if that 40% number is low. Like, could more than half of Ford sales be coming from EVs in 2030?
It's a good question. I think we're going to learn a lot on Lightning. I think there's no more iconic shape than a pickup truck. Ford's been the best-selling pickup truck for decades. We just won again last year. So I think if F-150 goes beyond 150,000, this could go faster than we think.
Mary Barra said she wants all of GM sales to be EV by 2035. Why not make a similar pledge?
Well, we'll see how, right now we don't know what the administration's going to do on consumer incentives. Right now, the U.S. market's only 3% all electric. Europe's at 20%. The difference is really the support for consumer incentives. So we don't know how fast that'll go. And I think actually GM aspired to that, but they didn't say heavy-duty vehicles like Super Duties and big vans. I think they meant only light duty. I think it'll be a while before a Super Duty customer goes all electric.
How do you think Lightning compares to the Chevy Silverado GM just unveiled?
Well, we have 200,000 orders, and we're launching right now. So I think, look, what we bet on is Build Ford Tough, and all the testing, all the knowledge we have in work customers or people use it for commuting and work. That's our bet. We bet on $40,000. We bet on, let's say, an XLT truck that's affordable. Others are betting on very high-end products. We're betting on now, production now. We're going to scale now. We're not waiting for a year, 2 or 3 in advance. And we made that bet several years ago, and we're really betting on affordability for people like these customers here in Sonoma. That's our bet. I think it's very different than many of the other companies.
You congratulated Elon Musk on being Times Person of the Year. What are you learning from Elon Musk and Tesla?
A lot. I think the thing that I learned the most is that what it takes to succeed in this digital, connected electric product are talents and know-how and a way of managing the business that's different than what we've done in 118 years. It's kind of like snowboarding and skiing. We both share the lift, but as soon as you get off the lift, the intuitions are wrong between both businesses. You know, you kind of have to relearn how to get down the slope. And I really admire, frankly, the difficulties they had and the way they managed those difficulties into the success they had. They're now making more than $10,000 a vehicle because of their scale. I like that kind of business.
Tesla's still number one by far, but you told Bloomberg that Ford could be number one in electric cars. Is there a when there? Like, how many years off could that be?
Well, in the next, not to be precise or anything, but in 22 months, we get to a running rate of about 600,000 production at the company. I think that'll put us solidly in number 2. We'll see. And that's before Blue Oval City in Tennessee comes online 3 years. We have our biggest assembly plant ever, brand new facility in Tennessee. We have 3 new battery plants, all coming online in 3 years. So the 600,000 is the first step, and then we'll see after that.
The revival of the Bronco has been pretty popular. Will there be an electric Bronco, and when?
Well, why not? Why not? I think what we've learned with electric, though, is not all vehicles are going to be the BEV version, the electric version will be exactly like the ICE version. Look at Mustang Mach-E. It's totally different than a Mustang Coupe, a V8 Coupe. We have a lot of work to do to define our lineup. We're in the midst of that right now. The Bronco success is really a pretty big signal from the market. Hey, people really want authentic off-roaders. Look what we did with the F-150.
Absolutely. Your investment in Rivian, $1.2 billion, now worth more than $8 billion. Any plans to sell that stake now that Ford isn't on the board? You're not, developing a car together. You could make some money on that investment.
Well, it's been a great investment, and we really like RJ. We really like what he's doing. The fact of the matter is we're both in the almost same segments. And so, we'll work through that. We really have always seen this as strategic investment. So there's a lot of possibilities that we could do with Rivian beyond just building a vehicle together. I won't go any further than that.
So no plans to sell?
No.
Just now?
No, but we'll look at everything. Everything's on the table. Our lockup period ends in the middle of May.
And do you see cross-shopping between the...
Not yet. The Maverick isn't, our F-150 Lightning isn't out yet. They're just scaling up, so it's early days. I don't expect us to be in the same cross-shopping in early days. F-150 Lightning, RJ and I talked about this, it's very different than their truck. It's much smaller. Theirs is really for a lifestyle off-road. Ours is really kind of a work truck, a working person's vehicle. E-Transit is very different than their Amazon van. So in the early days here, as the brands build out, I don't really see us being cross-shopped initially, but we are in the same segments.
Right. You just stopped taking orders for the Maverick. Yes. Under $20,000 car. It was super popular. What does that tell you about the demand for affordable cars now that the average price of a car is $47,000?
It's interesting what you said. I mean, there are a lot of truck customers paying more than BMW customers today, and Mercedes customers. So cars are getting more expensive. Electrification will just accelerate that. The used car market has never been hot. We've seen resale values in used cars that we haven't seen really in decades. So people there is such an appetite for an affordable vehicle. And it's on us as an industry to make electric affordable. And I think that's a huge opportunity. You know, what we found with electric is actually the brand can kind of get reinvented when you go electric and digital. You can actually enter segments you haven't been in a long time. So I'm really interested in the team's thoughts on this affordable section. We've had a huge hit with Maverick. We got a lot of negative press on getting out of sedans. We invested that in Bronco and Maverick and the Lightning, and no one's really talking about getting out of sedans nowadays. So I really have a lot of faith in our team on this affordable segment. The Maverick's been a big hit, far beyond our expectations. It's a pretty big signal from the market.
Last question. You're meeting with President Biden, who obviously was a big fan of Lightning. What's your message to him this week?
The country needs to be competitive in all electric. We need to catch up with Europe and China, and to do that we need to help consumers make this transition to electric, and we need consumer incentives that last for some time to help the industry convert over, because we need to build batteries in this country, get raw materials for the batteries in this country. That will all happen as customers go electric. It's just 2 or 3% of the industry today. It needs to be much, much higher to be competitive as a country.
Jim Farley, CEO of Ford, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.